Colour and Reduction, Landscapes to J.W.Schirmer. My dialogue with Schirmer started in 2009 when I was researching the Dusseldorf School of Painting and I came across the great man's work. What struck me about Schirmer initially was his approach to light. The way he handles light really fascinated me. For this exhibition, the 15 paintings will actually be joined by the previous paintings that I've done. So now, as far as I'm aware, there will be 20 of my works in this exhibition. About my process. I work in a rather unorthodox way. I don't draw. Everything comes from within. It's all straight out of my head onto the canvas. And what I did, armed with these books, which were very kindly given to me by the museum, and based on a private tour of the museum archives, which I had in 2010, I set about identifying paintings that I knew that the museum had the corresponding original Schirmer of. And I went through the books, and certain things caught my eye immediately, and I would just check to see if the Juelich actually held the original. And then I made a little page number on a sheet of A4 with a rough sketch, maybe one or two motifs, and went through the book like this. The crucial part at that stage was the sizes of the paintings, because what I was trying to do, although I wasn't accurately reproducing them according to the size, I wanted the sizes to be approximately close to the original. When the canvases arrived, I just picked the sizes that I wanted to work with first, looked at my list, chose a number of a painting which corresponded to the size, opened the book at that page, looked again at the painting for 2 or 3 minutes, shut the book and started to paint. And it really helped me that I can't speak or read German, because what it made me do was focus on the actual painting. So I focused on the work rather than the text. So what I was doing, I was identifying signs or ideas behind Schirmer's work that may not be overtly obvious at first glance. There were no preparatory sketches, there were no colour tests. Any colour tests I actually did were on the canvas. Some of the paintings have got several layers because I try a colour or I paint over a colour. Like nearly all artists that I know, we paint over different colours. We paint layers of colours. But all of the time, I felt this connection with Schirmer. Such a favor if you would blend them. There is absence. My titling convention is also fairly unusual because obviously I could translate the titles of Schirmer's work quite easily, but again I haven't necessarily used accurate translations. What I've done, for instance, where I use the word twilight, I've used twilight in plural, twilights. I've done this because it bends the mind. When you're looking at the painting, the title is an integral part of it. So with, for instance, where I've used the term pulling thunderstorms, I know, strictly speaking, that what Schirmer meant, or that Schirmer's title related to gathering thunderstorms or gathering thunderclouds. But to me, in that specific painting, there were three figures in the foreground. And what I could see was, it seemed to me that they were pulling, those figures were pulling the thunderstorms towards them. There was like an energy, a connect. In a lot of Schirmer's paintings, there's a connect. I see a connect between the sky and the ground quite frequently. It's like he pulls the two together with these motifs, whatever they are. He links. It always makes me think that it's like there's a religious undertone to a lot of what he does. Even his non-religious paintings, there's like a heaven and earth element. And for instance, in my Via Mala painting, there is a path that goes up around the mountain. And what I've done with that path, I've turned it into a ladder. It's as though it's a path. It's like an ascending, it's like they're ascending the mountain path. It's an ascension. So I've turned it into a ladder. You could say it's like a Jacob's ladder. It's a ladder, it's a spiritual ladder. With Forest Chapel, I've embedded the sensuousness of the forest with the spirituality of the church, which is why it's so dominant in my painting. And obviously it's got a Cornish overtone because it creeps into my work from time to time. So the church has got a Cornish element as well as a Schirmer element. Even though we're separated by centuries, the boundaries between me and Schirmer have become less solid. They dissolved. As the more I worked, the barriers between us, the cultural barriers, the language barriers, although there really wasn't much of a language barrier because he talks through paint, which is easy for me to decode. But the barriers of time, space, they disappeared. It's as though Schirmer was in the room with me painting. A lot of the time, it was as though he was there watching what I was doing. I've taken the magic of Schirmer's world and brought it into the 21st century, given it new life through new forms, new colours, and I'm eternally grateful to Marcel Peirce and his wonderful staff, Bernard, Suzanne, Sigrid, everybody involved at the museum, and I'm especially grateful to Professor Zender and Matt Radishai. Professor Zender for exhibiting my work in the first place at the International Kunst Academy in Heimbach back in 2010, and Matt Radishai for introducing me and my work to Professor Zender. This has been an incredible journey for me, and when I look through these books, I mean, there's probably another 20 or 30 Schirmers in me waiting to come out. There's just a wealth of material, a wealth of great material. The man truly was a remarkable painter, and I hope that I've done a little bit of justice to his work with my own modern take. Thank you.